In this 18th Sunday in Ordinary Time, we hear Jesus say, "Take care to guard against all greed, for though one may be rich, one's own life does not consist of possessions." This teaching is addressed to a random question from someone in the crowd gathered around Jesus. It could just as well be addressed to us some 2,000 years later. Jesus then goes on in his teaching with the parable of a rich man who was very focused on his harvest. He looked for ways to increase his gain, his benefit, his richness. Without question, he was self-centered. He encountered God, who told the rich man that his very life will be demanded of him that very night. Then, what good will his possessions be, as they are not what matters to God? How do we receive this message today? Are we too tied to our possessions? Are we always seeking the biggest, bestest, newest thing? If our lives are so dominated by possessions, do we miss out on relationships with our brothers and sisters? St. Teresa of Calcutta said, quoting, "Poverty is not made by God. It is created by you and me when we don't share what we have," end quote. The rich man certainly saw this and lived it. Catholic social teaching reminds us of the need to care for the poor and vulnerable around us. Our gospel passage today reminds us of that, and writings from many of our popes have echoed that theme, most notably from John Paul II. In his encyclical Centissimus Annus, John Paul wrote in paragraph 58, quoting, "Love for others, and in the first place, love for the poor, in whom the Church sees Christ himself, is made concrete in the promotion of justice." End quote. I love that line. Love for the poor, in whom the Church sees Christ himself. I read in a book recently that we don't need to take Jesus to the margins. He's already there. May we see Christ in the margins, especially amongst the poor and vulnerable. And in recognizing the presence of Christ there, may we take stock of our possessions and not be trapped in self-centeredness, but be people of action in not over-accumulating our possessions to the detriment of others. Until next week, peace and blessings.